Two Catholic dioceses are among the groups appealing to the Supreme Court against the state of New York's abortion coverage mandate. Lawyers are hoping the nation's highest court will hear an appeal regarding New York's requirement that employers cover abortions in their employee health insurance plans. Lawyers say the organizations are being forced to choose between violating their core beliefs, being financially crushed, or closing down services. The petition includes Catholic and Anglican nuns as well as Baptist and Lutheran churches. Joining us now is Eric Baxter, Senior Counsel at Becket Fund for Religious Liberty. Eric, welcome back. Thank you so much for your time today. Tell us a little bit about this appeal to the Supreme Court. New York granted a religious exemption to its abortion coverage mandate, but you say that it was too narrow. Tell us about that.
That's right. Well, you've heard of the contraception mandate that we dealt with a couple of years ago, for a number of years, in fact. And now the state of New York is ratcheting things up, not even hiding behind the moniker of contraception anymore, and directly mandating that all employers that provide insurance to their employees cover abortion. Now, the state has said it will exempt religious organizations that stay in their churches and only preach to their own members. But if you open the doors to welcome people of other faiths, or if you open your doors to go out and serve people of other faiths or of no faith at all, then you lose the exemption. And of course, all religious organizations reach out to people of all faiths and of no faith to share their message, to serve, to do good works. And so the exemption really is almost meaningless. And so we've asked the Supreme Court to say that that is unconstitutional for the state to pick which religious organizations are religious enough to get an exemption.
I know that you are representing a number of organizations in this case. Tell us more about that, and also what comes next.
Yeah, there are, as you mentioned earlier, this is a very diverse coalition. We have Religious Sisters St. Mary from the Anglican tradition, Catholic Sisters of the Carmelite Order, a Baptist Church, a Lutheran Church, who are all parties to this proceeding, and many people of other faiths. Jewish, Islamic, Latter-day Saints are also joining as friends of the court to file briefs supporting the petition and asking the court to grant a broader exemption. So we filed our petition last Friday. The state of New York will have an opportunity to oppose our petition, and then the court will decide sometime this summer or early in the fall whether to hear the case. We're very hopeful that it will see this as a gross violation of religious organizations' First Amendment rights.
Another case I'm going to talk about that's receiving a lot of attention as well is Mahanoy Area School District versus BL. I understand oral arguments were heard today in the Supreme Court. Can you tell us more about that case, why it's significant, also how it could impact religious freedom?
Sure, that case involved a cheerleader who was frustrated after she was cut from the cheerleading team for swearing on Snapchat. In her frustration, she was frustrated the way that she hadn't made the team or made the varsity team, and so she expressed in vulgar terms her disappointment and was cut from the team entirely for a full year. We defended her right to free speech because schools should not be able to punish students for speech that they make off campus. And this is especially important for religious students who may want to share views that others see as controversial, and then are punished if their views cause disruption on campus because students disagree with them. And so we've joined many other parties ranging across the political spectrum to ask the court to uphold the right of students to speak off campus freely without fear of punishment, and also to protect the right of parents to direct the religious education of their children, especially when they're not on school grounds.
Eric, we probably have about 30 seconds left, but quickly, I was wondering, do you have any updates as far as worship restrictions due to COVID-19? Anything else you can tell us about that?
So we are happy to say that restrictions have been falling down across the country, thanks in part to the litigation that we've participated in and challenging restrictions. Almost all states across the country now have removed their numerical caps on worship, and just a few states have percentage caps that we think will also soon fall. But we are pleased to see the Supreme Court, after multiple rulings, making very, very clear that states cannot and local governments cannot discriminate against religious believers who want to worship by granting exceptions for secular businesses while still requiring churches to impose limits. And so the Supreme Court, we're grateful to say, has done great work in this area.
Yeah, good news there. All right. Well, thank you so much, Eric Baxter, Senior Counsel at Becket. Thanks again.
Always a pleasure.